This is the creative director and chairman of Furality, Daltyn, who's here at FWA, and we are excited to host him. I'm ATL Wolf, your host. And for anyone who doesn't know, you discovered the furry fandom through VR chat, and that directly inspired you to create Furality. What was the moment you realized this needs to be an actual convention and not just another VR chat hangout?
Oh, yeah. Well, I really loved VR chat. It's what got me really connected to the furry fandom. I had a sort of muted interest before, but once I was there in VR, I met some people, made some connections. And one of the things I was really excited for was going to physical furry conventions. And I went to a few, then the pandemic hit. And we weren't able to go to physical furry conventions. So I figured, well, why don't we give it a try here in the virtual world? And it turned out that people really liked it. It wasn't the same thing as a physical furry convention, but it was something different, and it was something special. And so that really motivated us to continue with expanding upon what it means to be a VR furry convention.
People ask me what it's like. I say it's magical. It truly is, especially the worlds you create. There's a feeling to them. It's different than a furry convention because a furry convention is still at a hotel, but your worlds feel like another world. So it definitely has a magical feel to it. Now, when you created the first one in May 2020, it was supposed to be a small test run, right? And then you crashed the portal. You almost crashed VR chat. I know that might not have happened a few times. But what was that like? What point did you realize, like, I'm in over my head? Like, this is just, like, there are 2,600 people showed up for this thing I was just testing.
Yeah, well, this was before we had groups in VR chat, before there was really any kind of measure of how many furries are even on this platform. And I remember when we ran into the limit of the friends list before the convention even started, and that was the first indication. Like, oh, okay, looks like this might be a popular thing. And yeah, that whole weekend was really special. I remember somebody coming up to me Sunday night of the very first Furality Online experience, and they said to me, this felt different. It felt different than any other night in VR chat. And
it's true.
I still remember that, and I think that's very true.
It's a different feel. It's that when you get to see people you normally wouldn't see, because I guess a lot of the friends groups are intermingled because they just get assigned to a random instance, and you see people you wouldn't normally see. And
yeah.
That's kind of, they're on your friends list, you just haven't seen them in forever. And that's really nice. I like that. So Furality itself, I noticed, is a 501c3 on Florida. Why is this nonprofit structure important rather than running this as a for-profit venture?
Well, there was a few things that led to that. I think the first one is just that was keeping in tradition of physical furry conventions, and I wanted to maintain that. I wanted to have an organization in VR that was something comparable to the FWAs and the Anthrocons and the MFFs, where we can have a focus that's about making this really special thing happen, and not about whether or not it's profitable. And one of the more truthful answers I can give to that is we didn't, at the time, it was like, how much fundraising can we possibly do for an online event? People often treat online things pretty differently.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for the kind of support that we receive these days, and it's really necessary to keep expanding upon what Furality Online experience can be.
Excellent. Yeah, I notice it's very smooth to donate when you're signing up. I think removing that friction helps, and people want to give that little extra. They get a sponsorship,
Yeah,
or they're helping out the charity too.
So our higher registration tiers, we give additional perks with that. But one of the things that we do is we give out free registration. We have a financial hardship program. And we've ran that since the very beginning. We don't want anyone to not be able to attend Furality Online Experience because they can't pay for it. So the people who buy those higher registration tiers, they make that possible for us.
Yep.
And then, of course, we also have our supported charity, keeping in line with what furry conventions have traditionally done.
Mm-hmm. I also like buying the higher tier because you get a couple free memberships, or one or two of them, and then you can give those to your friends who either normally wouldn't go. They're like, oh, I don't want to spend the money, and you're like, well, just try it. It's free, and then they're hooked. It works every time. Yeah, and you've gone from a team of about 300, just a team of friends, to 300 volunteers now, and they work like year round on this convention. How do you find and retain that many skilled people, like world builders, shader artists, audio engineers? I mean, the audio engineering is just amazing. It's like professional level. I have never seen an audio production in VR chat. Some will come close, but like yours, like it's like a live experience. It's amazing. How do you find those people? How do you retain them, and make it all happen?
Well, when we were first starting out, we were very lucky because it was the pandemic times. People had a lot of free time. And so we were able to have some folks help out across every part of the organization who really had the time to donate to the organization. So we were able to do it all with a much smaller team. These days, people are considerably more busy and have other things that they need to do. So we've had to figure out how to continue to do what we've done while spreading that workload among many team members. So I think that's a big part of it, is just making sure that we're respectful of our team members' time. And while there's, you can always use more help. I also just been very lucky to have some really, really incredible people from all over the world helping out with Furality.
Yeah, I've met a lot of them, and it's like, wait, this isn't your full-time job, Furality? You actually have a real full-time job, because they spend just crazy amounts of time on Furality. So and Furality is we have a history with or you have a history with us, with FWA, since 2022, I believe, right after we came back from the pandemic. And what brings you to Furry Weekend this year? What makes you keep coming back?
Oh, well, our first Furality Gateway, our first real physical setup was here at FWA. And we wanted to show the physical convention goers, the attendees of FWA, if they hadn't seen what was going on in VR, here's a little taste of it. Here's something that can kind of give you an idea of what this might be all about. And FWA has consistently been very popular with the VR furry community, been very supportive of the VR furry community, and we're very lucky to continue to partner with FWA and do all sorts of cool stuff every year. So,
excellent. And for those who don't know, the Gateway is a two-way live audio bridge from FWA into VR chat, and you can join the Furality group, I believe, and see the instances up. Typically, the most full one, the really packed one, is the one that is actually live, that you can talk back and they can hear you. But if it's full, you can just go into another one and see people. But you can actually see people at FWA from VR chat if you can't make it. So it's really nice.
Yeah.
How would you explain what that actually feels like when you're standing in front of the portal and you realize that people in VR can see you?
Oh, well, I have to think about when I first showed some of my family members. I brought them to a Furality Gateway portal, and that never having tried VR before. And their reaction was, "Oh, those are actual people there," and they're waving back to me. They're talking to me. I think it's something where a bit of the virtual world is present in the physical world, and it's very different from having a VR headset on, but I think it's special in its own unique way. And it's a great way for people who maybe aren't able to make it to the convention to be able to still say hi and see their friends and have a moment of connection with those that they might see all the time in VR chat.
To me, it's like breaking the third wall on either side. If you're in VR chat, you're like, wow, that's what my friends look like, like in real life. But then at the same time, you're standing there and you're like, wow, I'm here in real life, but I'm talking to my friends in VR chat and not through a headset. So it's really that breaking the third wall on both sides. It's an amazing experience. We take pictures of it. We share it in VR chat. We're like, hey, look, there's that guy who couldn't make it, but he was at the portal, and it's special. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit and talk about the theming for Furality Ultra, which is this year's theme. It's the 7th generation of gaming consoles, the mid-2000s. The lore is that attendees have entered the game world of Ultravox Prism, a fictional online connected console from 2006. Where did this concept come from, and why that specific era of gaming?
Oh, yeah, great question. So, the 7th generation of consoles, that like 2006 to 2009 era, that was a really important time for gaming. It was when online gameplay became more mainstream. And not just the online aspect, but video games in general started to become for everyone. So this is the era of the Wii, of the Xbox 360, of the PlayStation 3. It was a time when the hardware was becoming much more capable, and that online connection meant you didn't have to be physically present with someone to still have a fun experience with them. Sure. We want to we're revisiting that time, because I think in many ways the experiences people have in virtual reality are quite similar to that sensation of connecting with your friends online for the first time on Xbox Live or whatever. But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It goes quick. And I saw this mock-up video of you and Atlas as kids filming Gamer Brosy. Is that how you say it?
Gamer Bros, yeah.
Yeah, Gamer Bros. And hyping up the Ultravox Prism launch. How much is that pulled from your own actual childhood? How much is fiction?
Well, I think I would, for myself especially, I remember being very, very excited for that generation of game consoles to come out, and the online aspect of those was really, really cool. Prior to that, you might play a game on your PC that has a online connection somehow, but something that's in your living room or in your bedroom that is popular game, experiencing that with friends. I was really thrilled for that, and I think that excitement is still there in the VR community. There's a lot of people who are excited for the Steam Frame headset to come out, any sort of new hardware. It's very reminiscent of that to me.
Steam frame headset or GTA 6, which is going to be out first?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. So I was reading through the style guide, and I also was reading some blogs about it, and they described the Ultra look as sportswear, bright colors, attached gadgets. I guess they call it a Frutiger
Arrow, yeah.
Frutiger Arrow and Metro kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's very specific language. How do you translate that in? Well, I guess if you want to give a little background about what exactly that is and what you're trying to bring out in people or bring out in the look and the assets that you're providing.
Yeah. So the Ultravox Prism is this console that we've known and loved for 20 years now, and on the Ultravox Prism, there's the Ultraplex, and that's where we're going to be. Ultraplex avatars have a distinct styling to them that is unique, but also fitting for the era. And it's kind of like a streetwear inspired, look in many ways. We want something that is accessible to the VR furry community. We want something where it doesn't have to be a completely bespoke outfit.
Mm-hmm.
It can be something that's retextured or repurposed in that way. So that also plays into it heavily.
And one of the things I've noticed that makes, I guess, this different than a lot of other things I do in VR chat is when you sign up for Furality, they give you this asset pack, right? And they give you shaders, and now you got to go into Unity, and not everybody's great at that, but sometimes I can stumble through it, and a lot of times sometimes I'll just go to one of the dealer's den rooms, and a lot of the big creators have created their own specific avatar with your look already in it, and I could just throw that on. It saves me a lot of time. But I mean, some of those shaders are just amazing that people go and you're glowing, you're at the rave, and everything on you is glowing and pulsing to the music. It's mind-blowing. There's nothing else out there like it. And I noticed, so there's something called Party Host.
Yeah.
And it lets someone spin up a private instance with up to 30 invited guests. And what problem were you trying to solve with this? What is it? What does it do? How does it work?
Yeah. So Party Host is something that we introduced last year at Furality Somna, and we heard of some folks having a problem where they wanted to hold some kind of private get together, but not in an instance that just anybody can join.
Sure.
As soon as they got everybody in the instance, it would rise higher on the instance list because there's so many people in it, and then other people would try to join. The friends that they wanted there wouldn't be able to come in. So that was the primary motivation there, just giving a space for people to have a dedicated instance for whatever they're trying to do, whether it's a special gathering or just a more secluded experience.
Maybe a lot of people in your group, your tribe you hang out with, stuff like that. It is amazing. Okay, so it looks like we got 20 Twitch subs. Thank you to Kimoko Sorokas. All right, so thank you, Kimoko. That's awesome. That's very exciting. I just got handed a note. Yep. All right, so yeah, definitely check out Party Host mode if you have a bunch of friends and you want to just kind of do your own thing. They gave 10 more.
Oh wow!
Oh no!
Thank you.
That's amazing. And speaking of charity, you guys raised $109,000. Is that right?
Yeah,
$109,000, more than double Umbra's totals. And do you want to quickly give a plug for your charity this year?
Yeah, our charity this year is Resilient Hearts Animal Sanctuary. They are a LGBTQ-led organization. They're an animal rescue, and they're really cool. Our charity team was just there visiting in person. We will have a section of the dealer's den just for Resilient Hearts. So I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's they're really cool. I'm really happy to work
Excellent.
with them this
Do you
year.
do you have an internal target for how much you want to hit this year?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but
Who would you ask?
We would love for our community to show a lot of love to this organization. They have many goals that we can help them with, and I think we can make a big impact.
Excellent. So we definitely want to beat 109.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always want to do more. Excellent. And you went from 2,600 attendees originally in 2020 to 26,000. That's right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
yes.
What was the name of that? Bcrypt just gave another 10.
Bcrypt?
Bcrypt. I don't know.
B-
We're
B-
on level 7 hype.
Bcrypt.
Yeah, Bcrypt.
Bcrypt.
I don't think I've seen it.
Just gave another 10.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
You're bringing the magic today. You went from 2,600 to 26,000,
Yeah.
which is, I'm not going to try and do math. Never do math on air. That's what they tell you. So you surpassed Anthrocon, MFF, and FWA. You're the biggest furry convention in the world. Not to brag. I'll brag for you. So what are the growing pains you've experienced? What is the hardest part of getting that big that fast?
Well, yeah, it really hasn't been that long. A lot of furry conventions that are quite sizable these days have been around for a bit. Furality has definitely had to rapidly be able to maintain itself. Going from this pandemic era, thing where we had lots of time to a sustainable organization, along with this 10 times growth in attendees, it's difficult. We may not have the constraints on how many hotel rooms there are or things like that, but all of our infrastructure, all of our planning of how we do things in VR chat, that's had to adapt and change and improve over time. So it's been a challenge, but the good news that I can share is that we keep doing it. We keep showing that this is not just because we can't go to physical furry conventions, we'll go to Furality. It's Furality is something worth continuing to experience.
True. I got cut off there, so I had to just pull out my phone real quick because there's one final question that I lost somewhere. So you're 6 years in, 9 conventions deep. Is that right? Is this the 9th?
9 events. We had like
Yeah.
a mini event.
300 volunteers, nonprofit, largest furry convention on the planet. What does the next chapter look like? Is there anything about Ultra you haven't revealed yet? Oh, so let me first. What does the next chapter look like? Let me ask you that first.
Okay. So, we keep having to adapt with VR chat as a platform as well. The preferences, the expectations around what a convention in VR chat is has evolved with how the platform has changed. And one of the things that we're really excited for with Furality Ultra is bringing a bit more interactivity to our worlds. It's becoming a more popular thing to have games in VR chat and experience things with your friends. Maybe you're still hanging out, maybe it's still a social experience, but you're there doing something, and that's a bit of the inspiration behind why we're referencing that retro video games.
You're teasing the interactive part, right?
Yes.
There's something that's more interactive.
Yeah.
I know a big part of Furality is the surprise factor, right?
Yes,
No one
yes.
knows what's the big rave world gonna look like. What is the dealer's den gonna look like? Everything is gonna be completely different and only there for a couple days, and it's gonna disappear. And so that's the magic, is you don't get to see it till it opens.
Yeah.
Is there any teaser you can give us, like what we'll be surprised by, what's going to wow us?
Well, the first thing everyone's going to see is we're going to have a public preview early access period for the Furality Ultra Dealer's Den. It has some really cool theming this year, and it is also our largest Dealer's Den ever, with many times the booths and other things in the world than before. So we're really excited for everyone to see it. I think for Furality Ultra, one of the things that we've told people now about is the Ultravox Prism, its online service. It's coming to an end. It's been 20 years. It's understandable, but it's something we all know and love. And I think that might be something that many of us can relate to. Something we loved isn't around anymore. But we're going to give it one final send-off. We're going to all turn on our Ultravox Prisms and enter the Ultraplex and give this console, this world, one final weekend of fun.
That's an interesting metaphor. I always think about when I leave a con, right? You get that post-con depression, and FWA is going to be over. It's going to be over tomorrow, or mostly over tomorrow. And I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be sad, but Furality is right on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
So I've already bought my ticket. I'm excited. Go buy your tickets now. It's an amazing experience if you haven't been. And that will save me, right? I'll be looking forward to next month.
Yeah.
So until then, I'm looking forward to it. Hope to see you at the con.
Yeah.
Hope to see you at this con. Hope to see you at Furality. And thank you very much to the creative director and chairman, Daltyn, of Furality. And I'm ATL Wolf. So
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for those
thank you for the yes. Thank you for the donations. We appreciate that.